Hey guys, appreciate you coming out. Big challenge ahead of us going out to Penn State, play a really good football team. So try to answer any questions you have.
Greg, before the season started, would you have signed up for this 5-5 going into the two Eastern opponents? Is where you thought you would be, maybe?
No, when the season starts, you would never, at least I would never sign up for this. No, but it's where we find ourselves. So try to make the most of it.
When you look at Penn State on film, what stands out about that defense?
Well, they're really good. They're top 10 scoring defense in the country. So that means no one has scored. When you reach that level, it means not many people have scored points on you. They're really, really athletic. They run very well. I think their secondary is outstanding. They got really very athletic linebackers. And even though they've lost some guys to season-ending injuries in the defensive front, they're still very good. So, yeah, there's a reason that they're top 10 scoring defense.
When you go into a game like this, what are some of the keys that in your mind that Rutgers, this team in particular, needs to do? Is it win the turnover battle? Is it got to rush for this amount of yards, keep Penn State under something? What are the keys to winning this game?
Well, I can tell you this. Whether it's this game or any game, you got to take care of the football first and foremost, right? When we don't turn the ball over, we win, at least in 2021. So that, I guess, would be the first thing, take care of the football. And then the next thing would be if we can take it away from them, it gives us a real good chance. So that's where it starts. But there's a lot of things that make that happen, right? Some of it is schematics. Some of it is techniques. All those things have to come into play. But more than anything, you got to play really, really hard over an extended period of time. And that takes a great deal of focus.
With all the bowl talk, how do you keep these guys focused and keep their heads into it and not watching TV or social media or any of that other distraction?
That's their choice. I've educated them that there's no such thing as multitasking. People who believe they can do that, you're just average tasking is what you're doing. You're doing two things, sorta, right? And look, we're not good enough. We may not be good enough to win the game. I don't know that. We're going to find that out Saturday. But I know we're not good enough to be watching that and watching that. That doesn't work. So I hope they trust me and believe that what I'm telling them is the truth, and that our whole focus has to be on Penn State.
Greg, it seems like along the interior of the defensive line, you're starting to rotate more and more guys in, and the snap counts are starting to equal out between starters and backups. Would you say there's more of a growing confidence in the defense, in the interior, and then some of the skill sets that these guys bring?
Well, really, it's every position other than the nose guard has been equal the whole season. So really all you're talking about is a nose guard position where Keontae Hamilton got more snaps in relation to Julius. And that really is nothing that Julius has done wrong. It's what Keontae's done well. He's played really well, and I really feel if you have a guy that's in there fresh, I don't care how experienced, a fresh, good player is going to be more productive. And this gives us an opportunity to make sure Julius is always fresh because Keontae is really pulling his weight.
Raekwon, that play, why is he perfectly suited to make that play? Because I think it's 2 years in a row. Yeah.
It is 2 years in a row, 2 for 2. Raekwon is a really athletic offensive lineman, right? And if you watch him throw and run and catch, he's a tight end trapped in an O-tackle's body. So I think it's really good usage of the personnel, and I thought it was a very good sense of timing, for a play when we needed it.
Did you try that play with Zuta back in the day? My memory is correct?
Anthony Davis as well. Yep.
With down the goal line, that sort of single wing look, what was the origin of that? Was that something you just didn't get to last season, or was that something you put in specifically this year? That's
something that Sean has had. You can only, again, we had no training camp, no spring practice, no summer. So, there's only so much we could do last year. And I think it was a good little tweak. It's not anything new per se, it's just a tweak on something we had existing. But it was good. And I think Johnny's versatility is really starting to show now. And we need to continue to do that. I think John's an elite athlete, and he's a big man. So we have to find ways to get him involved. And I think we are. I think we just have to continue to do that.
So what have you seen from Tyree Powell's development and progress that's kind of allowed him to start having the type of impact that he's had lately?
Oh, he's just a really, really good athlete that works really, really hard at becoming a good player. He is. We have a few guys in that first class that we signed, that 11-day class, that are just unbelievable workers, love the game of football, and have instincts. They're football players. He's one of them.
I might get you on one of these sentimental questions eventually, but any feeling about going back to Penn State? I know the place meant a lot to you back in the day.
Yeah, I'm not going to get caught up in it because we have a job to do, but heck, it's where I cut my teeth in coaching. I learned from some of the greatest coaches to ever coach football there, and Coach Paterno was a huge part of my development as well as the staff there. So, yeah, it means something, but that's not the job right now. The job is for me to stay focused on what we have to do, and that's what I will do. But it'll be neat to go back there. I went back there as an assistant twice, and when I was at Ohio State. But to go back with my team, my own team now, certainly it'll mean something.
Drew Singleton, guy doesn't get talked about a ton about on defense. But talk about his contribution, what he's meant. He had a big game last weekend.
He had 2 weekends in a row. I thought he played really well. Drew brings it every down. He's such a high-energy player. He's a very physical player. When he hits you, you know it. And Drew's going to continue to be a big part of what we do. I think he's a leader on our team. He's a guy that is proving what he is every week.
Greg, I want to talk a little bit about Christian Izzian. He's been a pretty sure tackler for you this season. In terms of, do you see him as not only a DB but more of an extra linebacker because of that ability he has?
Well, a lot of times, Richie, he's involved in the run force, and he needs to be. He needs to get down there and make tackles as well as play the pass. So it's a tricky position. He's good at it. He made some really nice plays Saturday.
I know you've talked about Penn State and they're not a rivalry. Do you think it's, whether it's Penn State or Maryland or whoever, do you think it's important to eventually have a rival, like a year-long foil that all the energy of a program is kind of directed to from start to finish?
Do you have to have it? No. Is it good for college football? Yes. Is it good for a program? I think 100%. If you've ever been a part of them, it's a lot of fun. It just makes, college football is fun, and that makes it even more fun. I've been part of some of the biggest, probably the biggest. When you used to talk about, first it was Pitt, Penn State, and then it was Miami, Florida State, and then Ohio State, Michigan. Those are like really big rivalries, and I long for us to have a rival like that. The thing that I've said to you guys before is you can't decide who it is. I'd like to make them. No, it doesn't work. You need to play your way into it, and when we do, then we'll have a rival. We haven't done that yet.
The road. This is an environment. This is an environment like there's only a couple of them in the Big Ten where you're going to have like this type of. Why is this team? Why are you confident that your team can handle this adversity?
We've shown, I think, that the road doesn't really affect us one way or the other. We're going to go out and do the best we can. We played at Michigan, and I thought didn't win the game, but played well, and that's a big crowd. I like it personally. I love when you take your team on the road. It's just your 74 guys and your staff, and away you go. And there is a little bit of us against the world, so that's fun. This will be a great opportunity. They're a real good team, though. So, playing them on the road, playing them at home, it wouldn't matter. They're very good.
You were at Ravenville High School last time Rutgers won that game. Anything stand out? Any memories when you found out that Rutgers beat Rutgers that game? I know you probably talked to Scott Ernie through the years and Dick Anderson and some of the other people who were involved in that. Anything come to mind when you think?
What
back
year
about
was that?
88.
Well, if I was at Rampall High School, then I am much younger than I thought I was.
I thought you might have been an assistant that year.
88? Is that when they beat them?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I was thinking you were saying I was in high school.
No.
I was kind of hoping I'd have to recheck my
No,
birth certificate.
I thought you might have been a student.
No.
assistant.
Yeah, obviously I have a close relationship with Coach Anderson. He's one of my mentors and a very close friend of the family. And I thought it was a great win. I remember one of the guys that still works at Rutgers, Doug Kokoski, was a big part of that goal line stand. So yeah, that's a memorable event, right? A memorable event in Rutgers football history. We look forward to having some more. Thanks, guys.